Am I looking spiffy? Boy! Ew. What's going on, guys? I told you. I had to do my show from a different spot so I can, like... tap into the Eggyverse. Now, I hope that this episode doesn't come out, like, kind of broken up a little bit, you know what I mean? Hold on, please stand by. By the way, thanks to EBT, I can buy a coffee, $2.59 on my EBT. I live on $6 per day, and yesterday, I found a gift card. I found a gift card for Subway, and there was $8 on it. So I get to eat some Subway today. I'm very happy. I'm very grateful to be here in Los Angeles. I'm grateful to be anywhere. So I've been having some very detailed dreams lately. When you have these dreams, you're supposed to kind of get up and you're supposed to write them down right away. I think they have to do with the situation that I'm in, because I keep going to office buildings and I'm trying to get more benefits and I'm trying to make phone calls and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And so these are the kind of dreams that I've been having more and more of. I had a dream about a symbol. It was made out of a rock. It was like a relic. It was a circle, and it had two nodules on each end, and it was taped to a piece of paper, and there was something on the paper, right, and I had to pull it off the tape. I was looking at it, and again, I'm not trying to say that these dreams are important or not important, but what I'm trying to figure out is maybe why I'm having so many of them. Maybe it is this anxiety, but what I'm trying to do is tap into my subconscious, and I believe we can do that. And I believe what's happening through our AI on social media is that when I get recommendations on YouTube, that people are talking about similar things and themes to what I talk about. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening. I picked a really kind of a bad place to do this. I don't know what you can see and what you can hear. I do have a good voice. You can see that. Please stand by. Oh, can you just, for a second? It's a little rainy out here in Los Angeles. You can see that clearly. Oh. So much for Starbucks. Anyway, so like I said, I'm living on the EBT menu right now. I'm going through the system. I sleep in my car. A lot of people sleep in their car. I'm having all these crazy dreams, and what I'm trying to tap into is my subconscious. And how I do that is I do that through my show. And I do that through all of you who watch. Now, I understand that there's connections that are being made, and there's genuine moments that are being shared, and there's people who actually interact online, but I'm thinking that there's going to be a little bit more to that. So yeah, someone was just yelling. Anyway, I don't know if they're in the park or what's going on. I don't know, whatever. So we're trying to tap into this to try to get to the next phase. And I really love this idea about the new Pee Wee Herman show, even though it's not going to be called the Pee Wee Herman show. And you can see that I threw out that idea about the single dad jokes, and that I'm not afraid for it not to go anywhere. Okay? I'm not afraid to do that. And that's why, you know, it was really tough for me to get up on stage in a band, and then I get up on stage as an actor. Okay? So that's why I had like some serious cheese on my grits with a bunch of people who never did anything to actually make fun of all the skills that I have. you know, it just got to a boiling point in 2022. Okay. Yeah, I'm really angry. I'm really mad. You know, I was just thinking, Slaughter and the Dogs are either playing here or they played here. I bought that record in England. And when me and my sister went over to England, my sister went to the Trumbull House, which is kind of still going on. We had the Trumbull House. It was all the punk rockers there. And what happened was, in case you don't know, somebody was coming through the Facebook app, and one of the people I used to play shows with at the Trumbull House was laughing about it. And yeah, and it was causing me a lot of confusion, and these guys knew about it. So there's that. And again, they tried to turn it into a setup for murder. They had a guy in Michigan waiting to write the article about it, because he already used my likeness in an article about the murder of somebody that he knows, actually, who killed the guy. So again, none of this is my problem. This is all stuff that happened in 2018, and I was talking a little bit about that yesterday in my show, that there was inauthentic behaviors happening. And to think that people that I played in a band with all those years ago knew about this, were involved in this, and were okay with this without telling me. I've got some serious problems with these people. So in case you don't know, I like to tap into my subconscious by talking about all this stuff. I have to talk about what pops into my mind. It's a free association. I have Slaughter and the Dogs on my playlist. Please check out my playlist. I'm homeless in Los Angeles. I'm here to pitch ideas. I talk about Linoleum Blown Apart. That is the main idea. That's going to be a novel, but it's also going to be a television series. We're going to will this into existence. I found out yesterday that I am the character of Walter. Okay, Walter comes from a fascistic country. He comes over here and he saves the studio. And this is kind of what I would be doing, if not saving, but I would be working in the studio system here in California. There is a huge reset going on here. You can't deny it. And I believe in 2027 that the financial bubble will burst. Michael Burry is talking about it. Okay, so it's 2023 now. 2024 is right around the corner. Okay, so I talked about a lot of things yesterday, a lot of suspicious deaths. And I believe this death drive was caused by AI. And I'm going to go ahead and say that because I'm tapping into the Eggyverse. And what I was talking about yesterday is being completely honest. Okay? I don't have Taylor Pruitt Vance eyes. I'm not shifty. I'm not shady. Only I knew about this vow that I took to James Thurman Ison, which means thunder. He gave me life. And I explained to you how I became like him, but I am not him. Right? And I am not my subconscious only. And I'm not my conscious. And I'm not my ego. And I'm not just my physical body. We all know that. Right? So if you're going into this technocratic scientific future, you have to be careful of people trying to tell you that, well, your brain is just nothing but mush. And you're just coming up with this because, you know, your brain needs something to do. It's chemical. Now, in the film THX 1138, which I love. Now, I love George Lucas, you know, I love all of his films. And in THX 1138, they talked about a chemical imbalance. There is no medical determination for chemical imbalance. People started using this term after the film. Now, I'm not saying there's anything nefarious about that. I'm just saying it goes into the zeitgeist. It goes into the ether. It goes into this morphic resonance. And now this morphic resonance is synthetic. It is through the Eggyverse, that's right. Your device gets information that can go as high as the ionosphere. Why? Because these ions spin. They spin and they deliver this information on a frequency. Okay? I did an episode, it's called The Frequency. Why did I do that episode? Because I was displaying inauthentic behavior. And people, and I call it the Q-op, because people were questioning their sexuality. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. We all go through that, but we go through that usually during adolescence. Right? We go through that pubescently. Okay? During pubescence, you would say. Right? I'm capturing the essence of pubescence. Oh boy! So we talked about the crowning of the child. Sorry, I don't mean to yell. We talked about the crowning of the child. That is the era that we're in, and we could see this childish behavior is happening online. It's very childish, very immature. So instead of going woke versus go broke, and I apologize, I didn't mean to call Dylan a guy yesterday, but it just kind of, I talk really fast. And I don't do pronouns. It's really tough for me. I have to get to know a person. So if I'm talking about a public figure and I misspeak, it's a mistake. And I don't owe anybody an apology. I don't owe anything, right? So I'm like, that guy, it's like a group of women saying, come on, guys, let's go. Anyway, so again, if I do misspeak or I say something, I'll try to put it in the comments. But right now, I just woke up and we're trying to tap into this subconscious. And I'm just trying to riff right now. And we're trying to see what's going to bubble to the surface. Like I said, we can throw away a lot of these ideas. I come up with about like a treatment size, like 2 pages. I write in size 14. So I write size 14. Old Face, damn it, I can't remember the name of it. Beekman? No. Something Old Face. Man, I can't think of it right now. It's been a while since I actually write. I write in my notes now. It's tough for me. I came all the way to the bottom financially. All right, my car was sabotaged. You're not going to just blow an engine. So I sleep in my car. I didn't really have too many dreams. I get up, I'm on regimen, and this is important, right? It's important to have this regimen. You got to get up at the same time every day. And so what I'd like to talk about is this process of basically creating your own process. Okay, and that's what we are anyway. So we are this amalgamation of all this information that's coming into us, right? So, and heaven only knows what we can recall and what we can't recall. As a child, I understood it intrinsically. It's really damp out here, by the way. I'm like melting as a girl. You know, you don't know. I kind of understood that school wasn't really what I wanted to learn, right? And I did most of my learning outside of school, after school, like most literally after school, and sometimes it was after I graduated from school. And I knew, and I was still catching beatings from my mother and being like screamed at in my face and hit. And I had gotten out of high school and I went to community college and I didn't want to go. I wanted to play rock and roll, and I knew that. And it was really tough for me. And, you know, and I talk about this stuff because it helps to clear the air for new information to come to light, man. Right? It really helps this process. And that's part of my show. You can get involved in my show. You can do a FOIA request on my name and you can find out who these Fed rats are. They've been doing nothing but hassling me nonstop for years. And it's really sad. I'm at the end of my rope with these assholes, man. They break into my stuff, and I think certain things have been compromised recently. So it's very troubling for me, and it just causes more consternation. And I don't understand why it's so focused on me. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break this. We are going to break through this, okay? And we're going to break through it using... Al? Nobody home. Oh, boy. Using this will to power. We are going to will this into existence, right? We are going to will these projects into existence. And only you can prevent forest fires, right? Only you and I can figure out what the hell I'm talking about, right? We can do this, okay? We can do this through regimen, through having discipline when it comes to just staying focused and not getting distracted. Like I said, in Michigan, when it comes to drug use, people don't know how to use drugs. Nobody's calling Sigmund Freud a crackhead, okay? This is stuff that you get from Media Deep Blue, and Media Deep Blue is not welcome here. Media Deep Blue is toxic, okay? And we can see it. We're at a barrage of information. It's just coming from all direct. Oh, it's coming from that direction too. Oh boy. Yeah. Right? And when I say surf the Eggyverse, you have to surf this negative stuff, right? We're in this alpha state, and we're glued to our device. And I already explained to you what's going to happen in the future with this dojo chip. This dojo chip, DOJ, Dogecoin, is going to be the AI that's going to be satiating you. And that's more than likely why they need this biometric information. And I believe they probably got this, somebody got this biometric information from me. That's why I was being targeted. David Strouder was targeted. And I believe the 4 individuals we were talking about were targeted. But I can't really say what company it came from, because why? Because they're bigger than the United States government. You know, this is like a huge deal. But what I'm trying to do is step back from this information. You can see the rain coming down. Can you see it? I like hanging out with you guys. I drink a lot of coffee. Yeah, go ahead. $7-Eleven allows you to get big gulps on your EBT. I never even knew that. And that's why it's important to help people out, and that's why it's important that I have the community center. I could go down there and take a shower and do my laundry. I mean, that is priceless, guys. I spent, hundreds of dollars here just doing laundry and doing stuff like that, running around, making sure I have fresh water, washing up in my car. So, it takes a long time, and I'll be here for 3 years in December, right? And I believe that we actually we connect through our devices, and that's why I stay away from these news stories. It's because I want to connect with information, ideas, and people. Right? That's what I want to connect with. I want to connect with all of you. I want to connect with my audience. I want to work on these projects. Now, I can clearly see this because of HR Puff and stuff, that this new Pee Wee Herman show is actually, it blossomed, right? So when you grow your garden and you see one flower blossoming, it's, oh, this one came up early. Well, Single Dad Jokes is nothing compared to this new Pee Wee Herman show with a Michelle Gondry-like director. This is really like a Sid and Marty Krofft style show, where you have the art department actually creating a lot of things in conjunction with CGI. So don't forget that in my project, it's called Golden Years. It's about an old rock and roll guy always trying to get the band back together. They were kicked out of their main mansion and they live in the back pool house now, right? And so the people in the main mansion, they have latchkey kids. And so these kids come over and they kind of like, you know, want to hang out with the old couple, and sometimes it goes good and sometimes it doesn't. But the main thing about that show is that you have to have this animation cutaways, and you're going to animate these stories from these rock stars, and that is the main part of the show, is that during the show you have the story of the aged rock star and his stripper girlfriend, and I do have the pilot for that, and I'll be putting that up online as soon as I can get a chance. But you're going to cut away to these old guys. You got to get in there and you got to get their rock and roll stories. I guess you can get them from books, but you want to get their voices. And this has to do with a lot of companies coming together in order to what? To make money. And so you'll see a spike in the sale of, like, unfortunately, Steve Marriott isn't around, but you have, that's one of my favorites because of the small faces and, right? So you have this humble pie, right? So you have all these old rock and roll stories and you have these guys still around, okay? It's really important. And then you would animate them very much like on the Dave Chappelle show, where they would reenact Charlie Murphy stories, right? So it's very similar to that, right? It's kind of taking the cue from that, but they're animated like, right? Just like F is for Father. They finally gave Bill Burr a break. I mean, and by the way, F is for Father was created from Vince Vaughn's production company. I go to the library every day. Yeah, they gave Bill Burr a chance to make a film, so good for him. It's about time. It shouldn't have taken this long. I mean, you know, I don't know who pulls the strings, but, you know, what are you going to do? It is the era of the crowning of the child. That's why everybody's wrapped up into children this, children that, right? What you have to really do is look out for your own children, take care of your own children, try not to beat them too hard. Yeah. And if you're in the vicinity of any kids, if there's any trouble, then, you know, make yourself available to, you know, maybe quell a situation or look out for kids in your area or whatever, right? That's about all we can do, okay? But what's important is that we don't have this childlike behavior as adults. I think that's key. I think if you're going to have childlike behavior, it has to be in a setting that's productive, not disruptive, not having a struggle session, going to somebody's march that they feel strongly about, right? And disrupting their march or anything like that. I mean, that's not really productive. That's not what I'm about here. And I walk, right? We are the middle pillar here. We can kind of see this dialectic, and we can see this glitch in the matrix happening to people like, God damn it, I can't think of Mitch O'Connell or whatever his name is. Mitch fucking McDonald or whatever. I mean, these politicians are there to serve their business interests. And I don't understand why people actually think that these politicians care about us. There's something called synarchy. Okay? And it's going to be interesting because I'm working on another story now. Oh boy. Right? It's going to be about a certain number of flat-foot cops who get let go because of AI, and not RoboCop. It's the panopticon. This is a real thing that's happening right now. This is why they're allowing people to steal from Lululemon. They know exactly who's stealing. They know what they're stealing. They know who's stealing. They know how much they've stole. They know everything about these people, okay? And you don't have to have your cell phone on you to get caught in this nexus. That's what's happening, guys. So we don't want to be lower-minded down here, okay? We want to be higher-minded. We want to know that we're in this nexus. We want to know that we're in this together. We want to work on these ideas, right? I really think this new Pee Wee Herman show, it would take precedence over most anything. I would have to say Linoleum Blown Apart, Golden Years, and then the new Pee Wee Herman show. I think those are my top 3 projects because I think that with the new Pee Wee Herman show, I can incorporate the show that I wanted to do that's called Animals. And that's a really important show. It's about Darwinian, our animals in the Darwinian model. Okay, but everybody knows that Darwin was about social Darwinism. And there was just a headline, and you know me, I don't like media deep blue at all, but there was just a headline that 1 billion people could die because of quote unquote climate change. Okay, guys, now this is very dangerous stuff. Okay, climate change is local, right? But we don't know. Something is happening. We know that. Something is happening with the Kafufu. Something is happening with them constantly telling us that hospitals are going to be bowled over with people. Okay, we know these fear tactics exist, but what we have to do is we have to kind of think about why. And why we would accept somebody else's hand-delivered answer when we are supposed to use our own discernment and our own reasoning to form our own hypothesis. And that's what this show is about. It's about our creative process. It's about making sense of where we are. Always on the monkey bars of my mind. And it's about not accepting easy answers. It's about looking for something bigger than ourselves, but appreciating what's right in front of us, which is our family and our friends. So thank you very much for watching my show. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know.